Juneau Council meeting to order, month of October. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The deputy clerk can take roll, please.
Evans.
Here.
Hootie. Here. Groton.
Here.
Morose. Muchka. Here. Rungy.
Here. First item of business is the agenda approval. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Rungy, second by Foodie. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approved minutes of previous meetings.
So moved.
Motion by Grattan,
Second.
second by Muchka. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Approved minutes of intervening meetings.
So moved.
Motion by Foodie,
Second.
second by Muchka. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Public comments regarding agenda items. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none. Communications, I have none to report. Anything from the clerk's office? Approved payments of bills, checks for $631,560.98. And electronic transfers, $176,574.17. Is there a motion to approve the payment of bills?
Motion to approve payment of bills.
Second by Grattan. Any further discussion, questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote please.
Hootie. Aye. Groton.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Morose.
Aye.
Muchka. Aye. Rungy.
Aye.
The bills have been approved. Payment of reports of officials, I have nothing. Again, nothing from the clerk treasurer.
Well, we're just working on elections.
Okay. Written reports, building permits, police department report, Juneau Fire and Rescue report, and the Juneau EMS report. Any questions or comments on those? Seeing none, moving on. Reports, committees, commissions, and boards. We have library report. Connie.
Hi, just wrapped up third quarter, so I want to give you guys a few numbers to see where we're at for library use. We've circulated over 20,000 physical items and 4,000 online e-content items. We've had 13,450 people come through the door so far this year. We've done 162 programs. We have 10 kids this year signed up for 1,000 books before kindergarten program. Those are new signs up, continuing from previous years. We just got 15 kids signed up to do our Reading Dragons program. That's a school year reading program, getting them to read for 2 hours every week. We're doing in October some black and white movie classics on Fridays at 1 o'clock. So if you want to flash back to the black and white days, come by and see those. We're doing a family literacy night in October on the 24th. We're calling it Family Fortnight. Families come in, they build a little fort in the corner of the library, and they cuddle in and read a book together. We're also doing a storybook pumpkin decorating contest the third week of October, and our friends group will be handing out treats during the citywide trick or treat. So there you go.
Any questions for our library director? Thank you, Connie.
Sounds like you're very busy.
Trying to keep that way.
Moving on. Plan Commission, David.
We did not meet.
Finance Committee, Richard.
Okay, we did have a big meeting, and Megan and the department heads, they reviewed each section of the 2025 budget with the committee. The budget's balanced at this time and almost complete. I think she's waiting for a TID levy number yet. So that'll be, we'll talk about that next month. And then we have a bunch of resolutions. So I guess I will start with the first one. This resolution resulted from the endorsement by the Recreation, Personnel, and Finance Committees and is brought to the consideration of the Council. if the recreation director position is to be an exempt position, the Department of Labor has issued a ruling on the minimum salary required. So that's some of the background of this resolution. So I'll read it, Resolution 35-2024. Approve wage increase for recreation director per the Department of Labor rule regarding minimum salary for exempt employees. Whereas the Personnel and Finance Committees have reviewed the new Department of Labor rule regarding minimum salary for exempt employees. And whereas the Personnel and Finance Committee recommend to increase the recreation director's wage to $28.20 per hour. And whereas the Personnel Committee recommends that this wage is red circled at this amount. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of October 2024.
I will move for passage of Resolution 35, 2024.
Motion by Morose. Is there a second?
I'll second for discussion purposes.
Okay, motion by Morose, second by Rungy. Further discussion?
This has been a contentious subject.
To say the least.
Some new stuff has come up now, that's what, everybody's got this packet. It explains basically what an exempt employee, what are the requirements for an exempt employee. There's three requirements. There's three requirements, but they don't all have to be satisfied. Just one of them has to be satisfied.
Where do you see that?
There's the
Is
executive.
that on this one?
So there's three
These are
categories.
those administrative
There's three
exceptions.
categories, Jane.
These are the three. Oh, I see, the three.
There's the, and Pam can help me out here because
An executive administrative.
she
Yeah.
knows more about it than I do. There's the learned professional exemption, there's the executive exemption, and the administrative exemption.
Yes.
There's some question as to if the recreation director qualifies for an exempt position. So,
Does any of this
Bring it up,
limit
please.
us to change it to an hourly position? I
So,
mean, to make it non-exempt and,
oh, sorry, Jane. So what if an employee does not qualify for any of the exemptions, this law is really to protect the employee. So if an employee doesn't qualify for any of those exemptions, you cannot have them as an exempt employee. They have to be an hourly employee.
so how is this position sit with this information that we have?
So if you look at the professional, down where it says on the first page, learn professional exemption, the first thing, they always talk about the salary level, which we know what that is. But it says the employee's primary duty must be performance of work requiring advanced knowledge. And then the advanced knowledge must be in a field of science or learning. And it must be customarily acquired by a prolonged course of specialized intellectual instruction. So if you look on the second page where it says what the learning and science is, it talks about fields of science or learning include law, medicine, theology, accounting, actuarial, computation, engineering, architecture, teaching, various types of physical, chemical, and biological sciences, pharmacy, and other occupations that have a recognized professional status. So really, nobody in the city of Juneau falls under that.
But I think you have to look at work requiring advanced knowledge, right? I mean, we're not meeting all of them because field of science and learning doesn't meet creative professional exemption. I think these are separate, as I read it, right? work requiring advanced knowledge, and it's work which is predominantly intellectual and character, which includes work requiring the consistent exercise of discretion and judgment. Professional work, therefore, distinguished from work involving routine mental, manual, mechanical, or physical work. A professional employee generally uses the advanced knowledge to analyze, interpret, or make deductions from various facts or circumstances. Advanced knowledge can not be attained at a high school level. Well, you know, Jacob has a college degree. He's head of a department. He has to screen all the coaches and assistant coaches, make sure there be a safety for the children that are involved. He has to, you know, run a department, and it is not a physical job. It's not a routine factory kind of job. He has all kinds of varied responsibilities and varied hours.
So I guess I just have a quick clarifying question, and maybe the attorney could help us with it. When we're looking at what the exemption is on the front page, the following requirements, the ones that they have listed is and, not or. So that to me says that all of them have to be met,
Right, it is and.
because it's and not
Right.
or.
And it does say the employer.
When it says
generally-
and, you have to meet all of them.
Yeah.
So all of these have to be met? How about the administrative?
So I kind of wanted to go through the different exemptions, so let's just look at the executive one first here. So this one says, to qualify for the executive employee exemption, the employer must ensure all of the following requirements are met. And if you look at it down on the third bullet point, the employee must customarily and regularly direct the work of 2 or more other full-time employees or their equivalent. So that position doesn't qualify there either.
I will, they put, then that position never qualified. We hired all of our recreation directors as exempt employees, but they never qualified. Because they never had 2 regular full-time people working underneath.
So this position changed to a salaried position when Gail retired, and we made it a full-time position.
Right, so it was 3 directors ago.
Right.
Seamus, Ashton, and Jacob were all hired as an exempt position, and they didn't qualify under, I don't know what they qualified. Somebody made an exempt position.
So under the administrative one, that one seems to be much more broad and would, I think, kind of,
So,
he would fall under that one.
I'd like to, in the last one though, it says the authority to hire and fire other employees
Or
or
the
employee
employee
suggestion
suggestions.
and recommendation.
for hiring, so back to the board.
where
To the
are we
Which one
at?
are you at?
Which one are we at?
Oh, you're at
The fourth.
executive. I was looking at administrative, the other exemption.
The
The one
fourth
we're
executive
looking at.
bullet point.
Because they don't apply under executive anyways, just because they have to qualify for all of those, and we know that they don't.
Right, so that position doesn't qualify clearly for the executive.
Right.
There's a little bit of a question for professional, but under the administrative one, that seems to be kind of a fit.
Yeah, so, if you look at that closely, it says, if you look under, it has to be directly related to management or general business operations. So it talks about must perform work directly related to assisting with the running or servicing of the business, and work directly related to management down at the bottom last line, where general business operations includes but is not limited to work in functional areas such as tax, finance, accounting, budgeting, auditing, insurance, quality control, purchasing, procurement, advertising, marketing, research, safety and health, personnel management, human resources, employee benefits, labor relations, public relations, government relations, the computer network, internet and database administration.
But it also says it's not limited to, so it hasn't named everything. And I would say that this is under safety and health.
So because we have these questions, the same questions that you're having, we did contact Steve Zach, and we did get a reply just a little while ago. And it says, I mean, he recommends leaving the position, or putting the position, classifying it as non-exempt. So, it says there's a mix of exempt and non-exempt duties. And I think with the assumption that if you would take that position and not have any part-time help at all, that position would definitely be more hands-on and not, and therefore not fall under the administrative.
I appreciate all your information and good explanation. And then she actually did the extra legwork calling Steve. Was helpful.
Any questions or comments? Richard, anything you got to add?
Well, I would only add, besides all this stuff, which, you know, I'm going to vote no to this for the reason that it's a large wage increase. And the other communities that we polled, besides one outlier, which was Hartford, the rest of them, we were in the ballpark at the wage that the position is at right now. So, for that reason, I'll be voting no.
Question for you or Pam, what are we talking, wage and benefits? What is the bump to be able
Gosh,
to
It's like
abide
a
by
15%
the?
increase.
It's a 15% increase, just in wages.
Right, just in wages alone, if you add social security and retirement, I believe Megan said it would be like 13,000.
And we appreciate the fact that the Recreation Committee went back and redid their budget. But part of that is they'll be losing 2 part-time positions in the summer. Or two folks in the summer that help out.
And off of what you said, I think if we want to build our recreation department, we're going to need more part-time help and programs.
I will remind this body that there was nobody that applied for this job. Right, you remember that I had to go back to the old applications to even contact Jacob. So, just so everybody's aware that it wasn't like we had a plethora of applicants to do that, and I think even leaving him at this wage is an indication of non-support for the department. I do think that when the joint personnel said these are the 5 cities, they didn't say, oh, this one's an outlier. No, they said these are the 5 cities. And I think even compared to those 5 cities, that he is low. And Juneau now has, you know, this turnstile of rec directors. And I feel that this is just an indication of lack of support for the rec department.
So I just want to make this known that when we talked to Steve Zach, he said that the issue with if you make a this exempt this law is to protect the employee. So if you take an employee who is not exempt, you can make them salaried, you can pay them this larger wage. However, that still does not take away our responsibility and our legality that we have to pay him time and a half. So if we make him, we give him that big bump up, that doesn't mean that he still can stay, that he's going to be exempt. Then we will have to pay him time and a half based on that higher wage.
Rock and hard place. Not really? All right, any other further discussion?
Yeah, I got, we didn't have this in front of us, in personnel. And part of the problem is, things in here that I read, I see a lot of reasons why he shouldn't be. Not a lot of, why he should be. And I know I'd have to read this probably 2 or 3 times to look at it and see, all the little if, ands, or buts, or ors that are in here. And for that, I don't know if I could have said that. I think if we're gonna end up having to get rid of the part-time employees, then we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. Also, it was explained to me that the labor attorney, or whatever he is, that he thought we'd have to go along with this and pay this guy under the law. And now, I'm not so sure we have to.
Well, all right, so the last 3 people have been exempt, so if he's exempt,
But do we want
Then
to
you have
continue
to-
this, if it was a
have to
mistake, do
pay
we want to
him.
continue the mistake?
so, okay, so we've made a mistake, and so we, this whole, whether it's management or not, so he makes sure there's coaches and refs, the sign-ups. It's not, he's not the coach, he's not the ref,
Right.
right? So it's much more an administrative job than it is a hands-on job.
Yeah.
So,
But basically, you have somebody who doesn't have any employees under him either.
right, although I think just, it's also hard to get a summertime employee for what we pay.
Right.
So I don't even know, even if we have money in the budget, we may not get
Yeah.
a part-time employee because we don't pay very much. So, and as you can see, it's just hard to get any employee, right?
Right.
Everybody is,
Right.
got help wanted ads. So, we're assuming we can get part-time employees, which maybe we can, maybe we can't. But at least if we had a director, but anyway, but then not even raising his rate, saying that every other position got a raise, but his position should not get a raise at all.
There's still time for that, isn't there?
You're saying no, you're saying that
No,
he's.
I'm not saying that, I'm saying I'm not voting for this resolution. I'm not voting for this resolution.
I agree with Dick, I think there should be time to look at, if we make it non-exempt, he's getting the 3% raise regardless, but then, like you said, to make it more competitive, we could look at something else. I don't think it's too late. We don't have our budget here until November, so
Yeah.
there's still time to make changes to the budget.
Well, and if we were to pass this, and assuming it's an exempt position, it's gonna be $28.20 per hour moving forward, what does that do as far as like sending that back to a personnel? Cause that would, you're significantly increasing the wage, so how does the job duties now reflect more exempt position and less of the non-exempt position? Because we're saying that position right now has like some non-exempt and some exempt duties, do we go back and we make that a position that has more exempt duties?
Well, I think that's.
More expectations, a higher, these are now the expectations moving forward, if this is gonna be
you
a
want to
full-time salaried
Right.
exempt
Yeah,
position,
right.
these are now the expectations.
So we can revise the job description.
Yeah,
I mean, just for example, right, you know, Jacob is busy, you know, looking at Hickey Park and whether we can do something more. We have all this low-income people, you know, all the low, moderate income, whatever, buildings. We're thinking there's gonna be lots of, you know, more family out there. So he's been engaged in, looking at Hickey Park, and is that a possibility to expand that, to provide something more for that side of town? You know, that's more of a administrative
yeah,
idea.
but looking at ideas versus executing ideas, I think changes it into like, what would be the expectation of this position moving forward?
And I think if the expectations were met, then it could possibly be changed back to an exempt position.
Okay, got a motion second on the floor, I'm gonna call for the question, roll call vote please.
Pearl,
Aye.
Rungy,
No,
Evans,
No,
Foodie,
No,
Groton,
No, needs to be looked at more.
Muchka.
No.
Resolution 3524 is defeated.
moving on.
Yes, moving on, okay. Floor is yours.
Thank you. The next resolution is the result of a comparison study of the 5 chosen communities in an attempt to keep our wage scale competitive. New wages will be applied after any cost of living adjustment is made. So, Resolution 36-2024, approve wage increases to be added to the final step of the wage scale. Whereas the Personnel and the Finance Committees have reviewed the results of the wage survey, and whereas the Personnel and Finance Committees recommend the following wage increases to be added to the final step of the wage scale. $3 per hour for the police chief and the DPW superintendent, $1.50 per hour for the administrative assistant in the police department, the lead equipment operator, the equipment operator, deputy treasurer, deputy clerk, $1 per hour for the clerk treasurer. Whereas the Personnel and Finance Committee recommend that the wage increases be added after the cost of living adjustment has been applied effective January 1st, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council this 8th day of October 2024. I move for passage of Resolution 36-2024.
second.
Motion by Evans, second by Foodie. Any further discussion?
I'm just gonna let you know, I'm gonna vote no because there's no data to support the dollar for the clerk treasurer. I went through all the data, there's nothing to, she's one of the highest paid clerk treasurers. And so if we're gonna look at data, that I think is a misnomer.
Any other comments?
as probably most people here know, I thought the DPW superintendent should have gotten a bigger raise. For, you know, he went through last year without much of a raise, but, you know, that's to open up a whole nother adjustment to this resolution, but, I don't remember what it was, I thought he should have got $4 or $5 an hour for the amount of work he's doing. And that he's actually doing an extremely good job, so, you know, that's my only problem with this at the moment.
Any other comments?
Jim, you kind of stole my thunder there.
Okay.
Being the chair.
That's what I said.
Being the chair of DPW, no, I agree with what you say. He took over a job and had to be scrutinized for everything that was going on in that department and straighten things out. He's done an awesome job at that. We have, unfortunately, one of my employees in there is, got some complaints against him from the public and has, we've been having difficulties in the department with him. We're trying to diffuse all that and make things work right. I don't know how that's gonna pan out. I think that that gentleman shouldn't receive a raise at all for his dysfunction he's caused the city. But now to throw a 3% on top of that, wow, that's gonna, I just think of John Q. Public getting a quarter, 10 cents an hour raise, and that's for a year. How, I realize we need to keep up with everybody else, but to take two big jumps, maybe a person could do the hourly wages, the hourly raise, and later on do the percentage raise. All at one shot, that's, we employed all our employees through COVID, when people lost their job in the city and had nothing. And we shuffled around and kept our employees working, full benefits and everything. And other people were going down the tubes. I think we did fine, but John Q. Public is hurting yet.
Just to interject that none of this is based on performance, right? These are position to position. We don't give performance raises, so we looked at the data and we're trying to stay competitive. And to stay competitive with the cities chosen, 3% in this, is, helps us on the way. It's not that, we are not going to be leader of the pack here, even with these raises.
These are step-up wages to get us competitive with other communities. We're not talking cost of living yet. We'll talk about that later.
Well, and these aren't like current position raises, these are being added to the final wage step, so this isn't like the current person in that current position is getting a $3 per hour or a $1.50 per dollar,
We'll work up to that.
Yeah.
So for instance, if a person is on their third year, they would get a percentage of the final wage.
Do we ever talk about who fell into those slots?
I think maybe Joe does.
No, only,
I think only,
Joe is only on step 2 or 3.
Right, that's what I'm saying, the one, aren't we talking about the?
That's what I know, but I want you to explain it so everybody knows.
Oh, don't ask me to explain stuff. Everybody get
Pam, why don't you
confused.
tell us which one?
You're doing fine. Dave, I think you said your part very well.
Does everybody
fun.
understand how it's supposed to work? The main one is Pam. Pam understands, I'm sure. Okay.
And these resolutions can be amended. I'm just throwing that out there if anybody wants to make a motion to amend it.
Any further discussion?
I'd make a motion to amend the hourly wage for the DPW superintendent as a $4 per hour raise.
Motion to the amendment is made. Is there a second?
I'll second that. Is that immediate or?
With this, it would be on this motion, D to get 4.
So do we vote on that first?
Yeah, you're gonna have to vote on the
We're
amendment.
gonna
Vote on the amendment and then,
Right.
Vote on the amendment, and
then we go back to the original.
Exactly.
Yeah.
resolution. Okay.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Rungy,
aye.
Bratton,
Aye.
Evans,
No,
Foodie,
No.
Burrows,
Aye.
Muchka.
No.
I appreciate the job Joe's done, but I know there's been a lot of work put into this too, so I'm gonna say no to keep it on track with what we've got here, because I think there's been more than enough discussion at committee meetings on all of these positions. So, nothing personal, Joe, you know, just a matter of keeping this all on track and moving forward, so I'm gonna vote and I'm gonna defer. So, it goes back to your original motion, all these positions as listed on here, correct?
Right.
You're in charge.
Yep, well, no, it's your committee right now, you're in charge, you're the one
You're
reading.
correct.
You're leading the resolution, so.
It's been, yeah, moved and seconded, I believe.
Yes. Any further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Evans.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Merles. No. Muchka.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 36, 2024 is passed. All right.
The next one is about the fire department wages. I guess they haven't changed since 2012, so they're asking for a modest increase. So resolution 37-2024, approve fire department wage increase. Whereas the Personnel and Finance Committee have reviewed the wage increase request for the Juneau Fire Department, and whereas the Personnel and Finance Committees recommend increasing call pay to $16 per hour and training/meeting pay to $13 per hour effective January 1st, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of October 2024. I move for passage of Resolution 37-2024.
Second.
Motion by Evans, second by Muchka. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Evans.
Aye.
Muchka.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Merles. Aye. Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 37, 2024 is passed.
All right, the next resolution has to do with health insurance. Health insurance costs for the city will increase by about $24,000 in 2025, and you can check out Appendix A for details. So resolution 38-2024, approve healthcare provider and employee/employer contributions. Whereas the Personnel and Finance Committees have received and reviewed the rates for the state health plans as shown in Exhibit A, and whereas the city contributes 85% of the lowest cost provider, which is Network Health Plan, employees contribute the remaining 15% plus any difference in the costs if they wish to switch to Dean Health. And whereas employees' health care premium is as follows: regularly scheduled full-time employees 15%, regularly scheduled part-time employees that work 30 to 40 hours per week 25%, regularly scheduled part-time employees working less than 30 hours per week 50%. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of October. I move for passage of Resolution 38-2024.
Second.
Motion by Evans, second by Rungy. Further discussion, questions or comments? Pam, you have the breakdown of what it is per individual and what per family?
I think it's all.
It's all on here.
Yeah, there's Exhibit A there.
Oh, I haven't looked at the back page, okay.
I can say that Dean, for years, has been the lowest cost plan. Network Health, the last few years, has been edging to beat that, and this is the first year that it has done that. So not only will the employee pay their percentage, but they'll also pay additional just if they wish to remain with Dean.
Does this throw a wrench in the works for preferred providers or anything like that?
It does,
It does.
yes.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Evans.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Merles. Aye. Muchka.
Aye.
Resolution 38, 2024 is passed.
All right, the next resolution is the proposed cost of living adjustment for 2025. Resolution 39-2024, approve cost of living increase. Whereas the Finance Committee has reviewed a request for a 3% cost of living wage increase for city employees, and whereas the Finance Committee recommends approving a 3% cost of living wage increase for city employees effective January 1st, 2025, now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of October, 2024.
I'll move for passage of resolution 39-2024.
I'll second.
Motion by Morose, second by Muchka. Further discussion?
I'm gonna vote no, because I believe a 2.5 is more appropriate. I think that's what the government is gonna give senior citizens, and I think they're gonna give even less to VA. So I think 2.5 is more appropriate.
Any other comments?
I think we need at least a 3 to stay competitive with our jobs, you know, every time we get behind, you know, I mean, other municipalities are raising, we're still not exactly on the top, so we need to keep up with our competitors. Keep up with their competitors, I think we need 3%.
Anybody else's thoughts? Seeing none? Roll call vote, please.
Morose,
Aye.
Muchka,
Aye.
Evans,
No.
Foodie,
Aye.
Groton,
I agree with Dick's line of thought, no.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 39-2024 is passed.
Okay, the next one, Attorney Griggs asked for a review of his rates. So we have resolution 40-2024, approve increase for attorney rates. Whereas the Finance Committee has reviewed a request to raise the rates for the city attorney, Andrew Griggs. And whereas the Finance Committee recommends approving meeting pay to be increased from $80 per meeting to $100 per meeting. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of October 2024. I move for passage of resolution 40-2024.
Motion by Evans,
Second.
second by Foodie. Further discussion? I think one of the conversations that we had at committee level, we were under the impression, Andrew, your term matches the mayor's term, and that you wouldn't be able to ask for a raise until my term is up.
Okay.
So that was the logic on that.
Okay.
So I don't know I know we don't have a formal contract. I guess you can bow it out at any time is my
Right.
understanding. But at the time you were appointed the attorney, which was the start of my term here now in April, your hourly rate was incorporated into that resolution or whatever, so.
Okay.
So, okay,
I enjoy being the attorney.
great, appreciate that. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Evans.
Aye.
Foodie,
Aye.
Groton,
Aye.
Morose,
Aye.
Muchka,
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 40-2024 is passed.
All right, 3 more to go.
Is your voice getting short? Want somebody else to read?
No, I can do it, yeah. Thanks for offering them. Okay, the next one, the Finance Committee is recommending an increase in hourly pay for election workers. Resolution, am I the right one? Yeah.
41.
Resolution 41-2024, approve wage increase for election inspectors / chief inspectors. Whereas the Finance Committee has reviewed the wage increase requests for the City of Juneau election inspectors, chief inspectors, and whereas the Finance Committee recommends an increase to election inspectors' wage to $11 per hour and chief inspectors' wage to $12 per hour, effective January 1st, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of October 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the wage increase for election inspectors and chief inspectors.
I'll second.
Motion by Foodie, second by Muchko. Any further discussion? I think they earn their money. I mean, it's a job that we found that there's not a lot of people in the community that want to step forward and do it, so I think we should be happy to be able to at least increase their wages a little bit. Other questions or comments? I'll call roll call vote, please.
Foodie.
Aye.
Muchka.
Aye.
Evans.
Abstain.
Groton.
Aye.
Rose.
Abstain.
Rungy.
Abstain.
Geez, this is tiebreaker ass here. Now that I said my piece, I guess I gotta back it up. I'll go with the affirmative on this one.
This will be a tie, you have 3 positives, right? 3 yeses and 3 abstains, so yeah.
That's as the no's, the abstentions go down as no's, correct?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, It's
So
always
you-
been my
you
knowledge.
needed to break the tie.
Yeah, so. Congratulations, don't spend it all in one place.
Buy another cup of coffee.
Resolution 41, 2024 is passed.
All right, the next one, the city council has to approve a city fee schedule each year. Details are in Exhibit A. A resolution 42-2024, a resolution to approve the 2025 city fee schedule. Whereas the Finance Committee has reviewed updating the city fee schedule for 2025, and whereas the Finance Committee recommends that the attached Exhibit A fee schedule to be approved. Now therefore be resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of October 2024. I move for passage of Resolution 42-2025.
Motion by Evans,
Second.
second by Groton. Any further discussion?
I was just wondering, on page 28, it just has a random any additional hour, 150.
It's just because the way that we saved it into the PDF, because it was on an Excel spreadsheet. So the only ones that we updated were Public Works, reground asphalt, and then, street sweeping. So street sweeping is 175 for the first hour, and then 150 every hour after that.
I was just wondering where it fit in.
So that's kind of where it goes. And then, administration fees, we put a publication fee of $40, and then a rush order for special assessment letters. That was the only things updated this year.
Thank you, Kaylee.
I think there was something updated under reground asphalt.
That was added.
Okay, that was added, okay.
You answered the question I had. I knew there were 2 prices for the street sweeping. One,
Yep.
it was less once we were there. That was to help pay for the fuel and time driving back and forth.
No other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Evans.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Morose.
Aye.
Muchka.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 42, 2024 is passed.
Okay,
So Dick, it's in purple this time.
I see that. I got that in my notes.
Okay.
Here we go. This resolution concerns the East Oak Grove Street resurfacing project. The cost had to be amended because it was determined that storm sewer sections have to be replaced. The amendments are listed in purple. Everything in black and red has already been approved by this council. I will read only the amended parts of the capital request list unless someone wants me to read the whole resolution. Okay. Resolution 23-2024 amended approved capital requests using the 2024 general obligation debt funds, whereas the Finance Committee has reviewed quotes for each department's capital requests, and whereas the Finance Committee recommends approving the following requests, everything in black and red, and the East Oak Grove Street resurfacing project for $547,660. whereas the Finance Committee recommends using the 2024 general obligation debt funds towards the approved listed items, now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of October, 2024. I move for passage of Resolution 23-2024 amended.
Second.
Motion by Evans, second by Muchka. Further discussion. Joe, you wanna chime in here, kinda give them a?
No, it's all on the paper.
I guess I'd like to hear some, I guess I don't, I thought I had them on here, but I don't. The paperwork on this one. We have a work order change on the Oak Road project. Okay. Yeah. What is the change for again?
The estimate, it's not a real work order change, it's a change of the estimate.
There's two crossings that we have for future storm waters there that have to be replaced because they were installed in the early 90s and they're made of steel and they'll be putting concrete culverts in there.
Is that the stuff we talked about like 25 years ago, where they were gonna end?
Longer than that,
Yeah.
35 years.
Is that
35.
long already?
Or 34 years.
All right, yeah,
You were probably on the council when we did DJ.
Yeah, I
weren't you?
did.
Okay.
okay. All right, thanks, Dave.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Evans?
Aye.
Foodie, oh, sorry, Muchka.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Morose.
Aye.
Rogie.
Aye.
And that wraps up finance.
Resolution 23, 2024 is amended, it's passed. Okay. Anything else you want to add, Richard?
No.
That was pretty fast. Okay, moving over to personnel, chairman report, Kay.
We met, most of the stuff we've gone through, we talked about the insurance rates, we talked about the increase in wages for both training and for calls for the fire department. And then we approved the job description for the school resource officer. I think that everybody's aware of that. We're working with Dodgeland on the school resource officer. And so I just have a resolution, because we were presented with a description, job description. So resolution 43/2024 approves school resource officer job description. Whereas the Personnel and Finance Committees have reviewed the job description for a school resource officer position, and whereas the position will be paid in accordance with the wage scale and the current union contract, and whereas Dodgeland School District will be paying 75% of the SRO wage, and the City of Juneau will pay 25% of the SRO wage, and whereas the Personnel and Finance Committee recommend to approve the job description as shown in Exhibit A. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of October 2024. I will move for passage of Resolution 43/2024.
Motion by Morose, is there a second? Second by Foodie. Further discussion, I would like to see 75% of the SRO wage and benefits added into that, because that's our understanding that full composite rate for that officer will be split with the school district at 75 and 25. So I would like to see somebody
So,
amend that,
I will
please.
amend that to, whereas let's see, where is it?
75%.
Dodgeland School District will be paying 7% of the SRO wage and benefits.
Thank you. Is there a second to that amendment?
Second that.
Motion. Oh, James got it. You made the second, right? Okay. So we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 43/2024 as amended. Any further discussion? Is that right, Chief? All in favor? Or nope, excuse me, roll call vote, please. Had to blow it at the end, didn't I?
Morose.
Aye.
Foodie.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Muchka.
Aye.
Rogie.
Aye.
Resolution 43, 2024 is passed. I think it's a good thing for both the city. This is a great opportunity to add an officer at a minimal cost to our citizens. Definitely play a role with dividends, I think, having somebody in those halls and classrooms with the kids at the high school. And like I said, Dave's been asking for an additional officer for a long time. This is a sweet deal, in my opinion, as mayor, so.
And years back, we had an officer and it worked well with the kids.
Yep, great. Anything you want to add, Dave?
I mean, between the resolution, how it was worded, and what you said, I think you covered as well, but yeah, the last time we added an officer was, I think, 2000. So 24 years ago was the last time we increased the staffing level of the police department. And this definitely will be a win-win for the city and the school. One of the key things that I always talked about with the SRO program is if we can make that connection with the little kids early on and grow with them through their entire school career, 90% of them will stay with us. But if you try and do that when they're high school age, try and connect with them. Anybody that has teenage kids know what that's like. So, and then in the summer months or off days, we'll be able to utilize that person at the city. My focus during the summer for that person will be ordinance enforcement. We can dig our heels in a little better than what has been done in the past, because we'll have more people. So like the mayor said, it's definitely a win-win for both the city and the school. So I thank you for your support. Like the mayor said, since I became chief in 2012, I've been asking to increase, and unfortunately that was always one of the positions that got cut because of the costs associated with it. And it's great to see that it finally became, or is becoming, a reality. We still have the budget to approve yet, but again, I'm just thankful for your support, so
Thank you, Dave.
appreciate it.
Anything else from personnel?
Nope.
Okay, moving on, public safety. Jane.
The September 19th meeting was canceled, but we had a meeting tonight changing the agent for Juneau Lanes, which was approved. That's right here. And we will be looking at trick or treat hours. Resolution 44, 2024, set date and time for trick or treat. Whereas the Juneau Police Chief recommends that trick or treat be held Sunday, October 27th, 2024, between the hours of 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. in the city of Juneau. And whereas the fire department will be helping with street crossing, now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the city of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the city of Juneau this 8th day of October. I move to approve Resolution 44, 2024.
Second.
Motion by Foodie, second by Grattan. Any further discussion? These are the routine hours we've done other years, right, Dave?
Yep.
Connie, you got something at the library going on during that time?
Yeah, our friend's gonna be handing out treats, so come by.
Thought I'd give you a plug.
Thanks.
Okay, no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Foodie.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Evans.
Aye.
Rose.
Aye.
Mitchka.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
We have Resolution 45, 2024, approve agent change for Juneau Lanes LLC. Whereas the city of Juneau has received an application to request a change in agent for Juneau Lanes LLC Class B license from Brett Bowman to Don Renning. And whereas the police department has reviewed the request and recommends the appointment of Don Renning as agent, now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the city of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the city of Juneau this 8th day of October 2024. I move to approve Resolution 45, 2024.
Second.
Motion by Foodie, second by Muchka. Any further discussion? Roll call
Should we have the middle initial in there since there are two Don Rennings? One is not a junior, one is this,
Good point.
there's a difference between the two people because no sitting here, you caught that on, before this, in Public Works. There's a-
Isn't this just referring to Don Renning as the agent, one person?
Yeah, there is only one agent, correct?
Yeah, we're just
Yeah, but
approving the
wasn't-
agent.
Cause I know okay, cause they're co-owners,
They could be, but there's only one agent.
okay. So should we, I'm just saying for the clarification purposes,
Can be amended to add the,
you know, whatever the, I think it's the
the
one
one
that
we're
lives in
referring
Juneau's
to
the agent,
in the.
correct?
When I give the license, his middle initial will be on the license.
Huh?
His middle initials
When I
P.
give the license, the actual liquor license, his
Okay.
middle initial will be on the
Can you
license.
have an agent for more than one people? Can you have like
No,
a,
they
so,
shouldn't.
you-
No,
you've
it's
gotta
one.
have a sole.
Single agent.
So, okay. That
Right.
explains that.
So why don't we just make it Don P? Would that be, then there's no questions?
You wanna amend your motion, Jane?
I'll amend the motion to make the agent Don P. Renning.
I will second.
Motion by Foodie, second by Muchka on the amended motion.
Are you sure it's the P?
P.
You said there's two owners, so.
Yeah, I'll
It's
double
on
check, but yeah.
One's Peter and one's Paul.
Yeah.
I think the other one was an eight if I remember right.
Okay.
The A is the son, yeah.
No further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Foodie. Aye.
Muchka,
Aye.
Evans,
Aye.
Groton,
Aye.
Rose,
Aye.
Runge.
Aye.
Resolution 45, 2024 is passed.
I think it was great to have the P in there, that you're specific with that person.
Yeah, those things always come back to haunt you.
Anything else,
Yeah.
Jane?
I have nothing else.
Okay, Public Works, David.
Public Works, we didn't meet, but I have an ordinance to read here, which it didn't get on our screen, but we've got a piece of paper here. Ordinance 272-2024, ordinance to amend City of Juneau, ordinance number 10.04.090, weight limits for certain streets. The Common Council of the City of Juneau ordains to amend ordinance 10.04.090 to read as follows. No person shall cause a vehicle to travel over the following streets having a gross vehicle weight in excess of the limits specified in this section. A, streets. 1, South Street, 5 ton, 10,000 pounds, unless making a pickup for delivery thereon. 2, East Center Street, 10 ton, 20,000 pounds, unless making a pickup for delivery thereon. Section 10.04.090 weight limits for certain streets is hereby amended. The second reading was October 8th. I move for passage of ordinance 272-2024. And I'm supposed to do a roll call vote?
I will, but.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Dave, as long as you're here, you want to explain enforcement on something like this, or lack of, or attempting to, or are we just relying on signage?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna have to be signed properly to give them proper notice, and unfortunately, when they get on that road,
There's no turn
they're kinda committed to following the rest of the road. That's gonna be the tough part, you know, cause we don't have any turnaround spots on that road. It is heavily traveled with semi-traffic, a lot of it is from Menards. Obviously, they're gonna have to figure out a different route. But,
Do we send them notification of this?
well, it probably would be nice to
Well, I mean,
let them know. I mean, otherwise they'll have to rely on the state truck route and, posting of the signs when they go up if it gets passed, but,
This is a sideline there. The state, the signs would be put up south and north of Juneau on 26, so anybody coming in would see the signs. And Joe and I talked about talking to the county and getting a sign that way by Menards so that they would know, any trucks leaving would know. Plus, we also talked about sending a letter to Menards telling them that, you know, if it passes, that this is, you know, will be going into effect probably January 1st, I would think, because we have to notify the state by November 30th, and then they have a I guess they must have a computer system or something with truck routes, and it would go on their system, so any trucker that comes to this area, and they're supposed to look it up, they would know that they can't, you know, go down that route. So anybody coming in to or from Juneau, they'd have to just go to 33 or 60, either way that you're going. And from the east, you know, there would be signage by Menards, and Menards would probably, I was sure that they would let their trucking companies know, because most of the trucking company is theirs. You know, that, and was it Last Caller, I think it is, the other one that's really, really big, that go through there every day.
Is someone taking the responsibility to contact Menards? So, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
If, we can do it
because,
from
yes, like, we
Public
should
Works.
contact Menards, yeah, but who is going to, like, write them a letter?
I can write a letter and, you know, we can send it on the city stationery and they can send it to them.
Shouldn't that be coming from public safety though,
Right.
and the police
Or
department?
Public Works.
I was just thinking that's, you know, you're warning them.
Yeah,
I
public
thought,
safety.
I thought
Police
public
department.
safety?
Right.
The attorney says it should come from public
Right.
safety, so it's in your lap, Dave.
Well, if it passes, then, yeah, we'll,
Yeah, send them a letter.
I just want them forewarned, you know, that,
Yeah.
I mean, they'll get a free pass, I'm sure, you know, that we.
Initially, but.
Right, but, with these ordinances, don't we routinely group these together because of the expense of passing ordinances? Like we've got,
Modify it?
yeah, got a few more, I know there's some changes that we have on plan commission that you'd like to see as far as that, so is there a drop dead deadline to get this,
Yes.
in? There is,
Yes, it has to be passed by November 30th.
okay. But by us taking action tonight, the passage will be done, but publicizing them and codifying them, like Jane says,
Right.
that we have till the end of the year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and actually for our books.
Yes, okay.
For our books, it's an ordinance as soon as it's published.
Yeah.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Groton,
Aye.
Runge,
Aye.
Evans,
Aye.
Foodie,
Aye.
Morose,
Aye.
Muchka.
No.
Ordinance 272, 2024 has passed. Anything else, Jane?
Nope.
Or Dave, excuse me.
Nope. No.
Cable TV, and now it's Jane's turn.
We did not meet.
CDA, we did not meet. Recreation Committee, we met.
We met, and, you know, we modified the budget, but it's kind of irrelevant now. We talked about our fee schedule, we're gonna get some more information about various fees, and, but we remembered it was only a year and a half when we looked at our fees and modified it, so it's not like we haven't looked at our fees for a while. And then we had the director's report. So of course, Rage Soccer was going well. We have Strong Bodies, Pickleball, the walking program, all begin in October. Jacob provided us with information on the Land and Water Conservation Fund, which provided financial assistance for our park several decades ago. The DNR is required to verify the city's continued compliance with the LWCF program at least once every 5 years, and 2024 is our year for inspection. Jacob has provided the necessary information to verify the city's compliance. And then he talked about the Knowles Nelson grant source, and that can be a good source for park and recreation programs. We talked about that a little bit. And that was about it.
Any questions for Kay? Moving on. Utility.
Okay. we had a meeting last night, so there's no minutes to go off of, so I scribbled some notes, but I can't scribble as fast as people can talk, so I have a few things here. We talked about replacing the carpet in the lobby of the utility office, and this will be added to the 2025 budget. We approved the purchase of a new Bobcat skid loader using money from the equipment replacement fund after the first of the year. Nick reported that the Sunview complex is fully energized, and Nick and his guys will be testing the solar installations there in the coming weeks. He reported that preliminary steps for an electric rate study have been taken, and new rates are expected to be put in place in mid-2025. And we talked a little bit about the logistics of taking down the light poles on the Addy Joss Field. So that might be an interesting thing to watch, it sounds like. The commission approved change orders for the wastewater treatment plant upgrade. Alex previewed the cost of the mandated water disinfection, is that right, disinfection? Requirements that will be due to be done by March 31st in 2029, and right now the estimate cost is going to be over $2 million. This is for water that leaves the waste treatment plant,
The
outflow that goes into the creek, basically, right?
Yep.
And it has to be disinfected through UV. Is that,
Okay.
Almost clean enough to drink.
uh,
Almost clean enough to drink.
yeah, right, almost. So anyways, that's gonna be a big cost coming up in the next few years. And you may have noticed around town that they've been flushing some of the fire hydrants, and this should be winding up next week. And also, we had an employee at the water department resign, so that job has been posted. That's all I have. Dave, Mayor, anything else?
Who resigned?
I think you covered it pretty good.
If you'd like to get into wastewater,
Nick Pills.
make an application.
Just a guy we hired not too long ago.
He wasn't
He wasn't an operator, he was just a trainee, and
Okay.
somebody they hired
Just
to
learning.
do the nuts and bolts for it.
So that's all I have for that.
Okay, moving on, any old business, new business?
Old business, I was asked by two people how we're doing with Scott. The county's have it now, right?
Are you at liberty to discuss that publicly and try to?
Well,
Otherwise, I can make comment too
Right.
on either one, either.
Part of the public is they charged him and then he missed a court appearance. So right now there's a warrant. But he's charged and the city submitted a victim impact statement. So see what happens with the warrant.
Any new business?
I just got a couple of things that came up and popped into my head, fortunately, during the meeting. But concerning the rec director, you know, we had a somewhat legal opinion, but I think what we really need is a written legal opinion of how he stands with all that other stuff we got, where he actually falls legally from a person who does this for a living. Because, you know, you read all this, and I can read 100 things into this, and I'm sure there's gotta be somebody out there that would know exactly what our liabilities are, and you can give a good recommendation on what we should do with him. If he's gonna meet the standards, or if he isn't gonna meet the standards.
We did get an email this afternoon, from Steve Zach's company, firm, that, they had reviewed the job description, and they recommended that we leave it, or that we have it as an hourly employee.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the last part.
She said they contacted Steve Sack, they got an email back, and the recommendation was to leave him as that he's an hourly employee.
Okay.
But to have him
Although
as an hourly employee.
sometimes it's always in the presentation, right?
Yeah.
Does a job description always tell everything that a person does?
Well, no.
And it doesn't.
Right.
So, you know, sometimes, you know, it is, in the information, he can only give an opinion on the information he's provided, and maybe he's not provided all the opinions, so
Right.
that's a fair
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Well, then it's up, if there's a difference, it's up to us to provide that person with the information. So
But
you can
I would have to
change your
have permission
opinion.
from somebody to contact, Steve Zach is a very expensive,
Okay,
so I can't just
right,
go ahead and call him,
okay.
unless the mayor's gonna let me do that, because, it's very expensive.
I think it's something we have to get settled, definitely.
Okay.
And let's get it done. And the other thing is, I'd like, sometime during the year, I'd like to see us go over some of the city fees. And that, some of them seem like they're kind of, to me, things that government should do without charging people. It's just, and I'll talk to you about that, I should have to go through finance, I'm sure. So,
I think most of the administration stuff has always been run by you, and you've always kind of approved, I know there's all kinds of ceilings on stuff that we can
Right.
bill for,
Right.
and people look for records and stuff.
But you're within the range of
Yeah.
those things. And you're consistent with what other municipalities do.
Okay. Okay, moving on, new business, there's no bartender's license this month. So, last item of business was adjourned, is there a motion to that effect?
yeah, I'll do that.
Motion by Rungy,
Second.
second by Foodie. Any further discussion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.